The Stern Ritter are pushing the Shinigami back, and what is the fate of Captain Hitsugaya? Find out in my review of Bleach chapter 550. When you think about it, that's another milestone chapter. I was pretty excited when we got to the 500th chapter of Bleach, but 550 chapters? Good work, Kubo. That's very accomplished of you. This was another action chapter that was very similar to last week's and was also similar to a lot of the old form Bleach chapters where the action is just kicked to 10, there's very little dialogue, and there's a lot of giant panel spreads that just emphasize how crazy the action is. There are three major confrontations in this week's chapter. The first one was between Kuratsuchi and the Quincy Knocklavar, who is that very effeminate-looking Aizen character. Now, these two are basically just sort of testing the water, seeing how strong each other is, and we really don't get to see the full extent of what their battle is going to be. But I can't wait to see it because I always love scenes that involve Kuratsuchi because he's one freaky bastard. He's like Frieza and Caesar Clown rolled all into one. They happen to have the same voice actors, too. The battle between Soifong and BG9 is also continuing. We get to see a little bit more of what BG9 is actually made of in a literal sense. When he removes his cloak, he has like all of these big armor pieces all over his body. He has double Gatling guns on his arms, which is pretty friggin' cool. Just his entire design and in general, I really like it. It's completely unique to what we've seen in the series, and it just looks really threatening and messed up, and I can't wait to see what's under his mask. He apparently has like one single eye. Kind of reminds me of Zaku from Gundam. The battle here is really intense. There's a lot of really big action scenes. There's a really messed up part where like BG9 is able to like stab through Soifong's arm. After a big ass Michael Bay explosion, we pan down and we go back to the battle with Rangiku, Hitsugaya, and frickin' Bazz-B. And Bazz-B's doing what he always does, being an asshole, just sort of egging everybody on. And it looks like Hitsugaya and Rangiku are going to have to actually retreat from this entire situation. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to defeat Bazz-B. And then Bazz-B displays one of his major abilities, which is the Burning Finger. And I know I'm not the only one who thought of G Gundam when I heard this. This is where the shocking part of the chapter came into play. Essentially, at the very end, you get to see that Hitsugaya has literally been stabbed by this guy. His attack has gone directly through his body. And this is, of course, the part where you question, is Hitsugaya alive? Is Hitsugaya dead? We're going to have to find out till next week because this is where the chapter ends. Now, a lot of the times in these battle manga series, they always have to give you that cliffhanger where a character might die. Now, Hitsugaya actually kicking the bucket would be a massive deal because he is easily one of the most popular characters in the series. And if the author has the balls to kill Hitsugaya, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. However, I don't want Hitsugaya to die. I think he's a really interesting character. He's arguably just as interesting as Ichigo Kurosaki. Getting to see these Quincy in action is truly terrifying. Just getting to see all of their abilities and the fact that really nothing is affecting them. They're stealing their Bankais, they're stealing their Thunder, and they're getting ready to fuck their shit up. All of their designs are also really great. Obviously, BG9 kind of steals the show this week because he's just got such an intricate design with all of his armor pieces and his guns, and that really badass mask with the singular eye hanging right behind it. And he's just such a brutal character. He's one of the more brutal Quincy that we've seen in the series, and he's just taken Soifong down. All the artwork this week was pretty good for Bleach, just emphasizing how crazy the action is. A lot of explosions and all that stuff. A lot of giant panels that Kubo just loves so much in order to make these battles flow and seem very large. And for the most part, it does. It just still continues to make me wish they would make an anime version of this again. So this week was a great chapter to me personally because I'm just a big action fan. I love this type of stuff. You know, for the most part, there were some scenes, like I said, that was mostly just an excuse to have a giant explosion on the page. But whatever, it's just to emphasize how powerful these guys are. And most of the artwork was pretty good this week, in particular the character artwork. You know, Kubo loves doing really crazy faces like that final panel at the end where Bazz-B's using his Burning Finger and getting ready to take out Hitsugaya. Like, all of that was really, really awesome. BG9, to me, slightly sort of stole the show this week, but that's just because he's so friggin' awesome looking. And I just can't wait to see more of what he's capable of. So I have pretty much almost zero complaints. If I only had one thing to say, it's just that I wish that some of the panels, even though they were big and flashy, could have had a little bit more character in them and maybe a little bit more hand-to-hand type combat. But this is Bleach. This is all about the weapons and everything, so I can't complain too much. So I'm going to give this chapter a 9 out of 10. A damn near perfect chapter that Bleach action fans, I think, should definitely check out. And the Hitsugaya fans really need to check out because he might be getting his shit fucked up. So there it was, another action-packed chapter of Bleach. But how did you guys feel about this week's chapter? Do you think Hitsugaya is going to live, or do you think he's going to die? You can let me know with your comments below. And remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and give the video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.